Fox Sports.
We are Black We are Wisconsin.
Series continues here on the south side of Chicago. Game 2 of the weekend set as the Brewers look for a bounce back after the White Sox rallied from an early 3-0 deficit last night to knock off the Crew 8-3. Brewers trying to even things up here this afternoon against the American League opponent. Good afternoon from inside Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minard is our reporter. Well, we know the Brewers can hit, and they've hit very well, especially in the month of May. They've been pitching really well as well throughout this season, Rock. And, maybe there are various factors involved, but it should start with Derek Johnson. I think more and more people outside of the Brewers fan base understands what this guy means.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Third year now for Derek Johnson. When he got hired, we were told that he thinks out of the box, which means he has a different way of looking at pitching for each and every one of his guys. He doesn't have one set way of going about things. And the one area that has been very good for the Brewers all season long, even given all the movement in that bullpen, guys going up and down from the minor leagues, some injuries, outstanding work. They've been one of the best bullpens in all of baseball. You can see where their ranks are, and I think, today the Brewers are wearing the 1983 jerseys, the powder blue road jerseys, and the bullpen for the Brewers is going back to those days a little bit. I mean, guys going multiple innings, guys being able to eat up maybe two in the third innings, and that's kind of a throwback. Derek Johnson, a big part of all that.
Yeah, we talk about how the game has changed. In a lot of ways, it is just cycling back, and it's been very impressive. And what's also been impressive, Rock, are all the injuries that this ball club has had to navigate through. Some of the bullpen, but certainly that rotation.
Well, and again, I think in spring training, David Stearns and Craig Counsell were very proud of the depth of this organization. It has been tested a lot in the first couple of months, and it seems like anybody they bring up, they send a guy down, somebody gets hurt, somebody comes up and gets the job done. That's a sign of not only a very deep organization as far as talent goes, but very good coaching on the major league level.
And speaking of that coaching and Derek Johnson specifically, let's get more on him and his impact on this Brewers staff as we send it down and check in with Sophia Minard.
Thanks, Matt. And you're right. Yolis Chassin, his first season working with pitching coach Derek Johnson. He was winless over his first 4 starts of the season, but he has been much better over his last 9. He's gone 3-0. The earned run average under 3, and better yet, the team has won 7 of his last 8 starts. And he spoke with me about the impact that Derek Johnson has made working with him here this season.
He had a great attitude. I think he gives you a lot of confidence. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He only tells you what is going to be the best for you. And I think that's something that you appreciate. And he working hard every day. He never tired. He never he never want to do something. He always want to do what is the best for you, and always wants to help you the best way he can. And like I said, you can tell, for the bullpen, starting rotation, we're getting better, and I feel that he had a lot of credit for that.
With Yolis Chassin on the mound, the Brewers have gone 9-3 overall. They have won 7 of his last 8 starts. Chassin getting ready to start Game 2 of this series against James Shields and the White Sox. The Crew looking to even the series here this afternoon at Guaranteed Rate Field. We've got first pitch next.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Up for a time, Ryan Braun was hitting into some bad luck, and then he had to sit out, went on the DL with mid-back tightness. But since his return, he's been hitting into better luck, helping himself for sure, including a 2-run home run last night. But he's driven in 6 over these last 8 games, hitting a cool .333. He's back in the lineup today, hitting 5th as the Brewers look to even this series against the Chicago White Sox. Lineups and first pitch coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich combo got on base 5 times, all via the walk last night. 2 for Cain, 3 for Christian Yelich as we get set for game 2 alongside Bill Schroeder and Sophia Minnick, Matt LePay. And a mid-60s degree day, a little cloudy sky right now, but we'll stay rain-free as Craig Counsell's team, which has avoided losses in consecutive games for more than a month, looking to keep that trend going here this afternoon as we check out the Brewers batting order for this middle game of the series against the Sox. Batting order, as always, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And at the top of the order for the Brew Crew will be Lorenzo Cain, followed by Yelich. Jesus Aguilar hitting 3rd today. Travis Shaw hitting cleanup. Ryan Braun back in the 5th spot. Ji-Man Choi will DH. Jonathan Villar, Eric Kratz, and Orlando Arcia rounding out the Brewers batting order against James Shields. And we are ready to go here on the south side of Chicago as Cain, first pitch, hacking a swing and a miss, and we are underway.
And James Shields having a pretty good season, a .454 earned run average. He's making his 12th start of the year. He's got 6 no decisions, and really he's been very good as of late. Hasn't gotten a whole lot of run support. Last 3 starts, 6 earned runs in 21 1/3 innings, and eating up a lot of those innings. 7 innings at least in his last 3 outings.
A ball is strike 2. Lorenzo Cain as we get started. You'll notice the attire here today. It's 80s day here in Chicago, and both teams wearing the unis from 1983. Rock, all the memories you must be having returned seeing those unis.
Yeah, my first year got called up after the All-Star break in '83. Yeah, went to Texas, Arlington, Texas, to meet the team, and they were wearing those exact uniforms. I've got one of those jerseys in my closet.
Still fits?
No, it's shrunk.
I hate that when that happens.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of attire that over the years has shrunk. Very depressing.
Yeah, good to see the old powder blues. The White Sox going with the old '80s uniforms as well.
The White Sox '83 team, a playoff team. Of course, that year the Brewers a year removed from their pennant winning team in the American League. A full count to Lorenzo Cain leading things off this afternoon, and he takes a called third strike. And that's how the day begins for James Shields.
Check out the White Sox defensively. Got Tilson, Engel, and Thompson in the outfield. Guys all have some pretty good speed running them down in the outfield. Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada at second base. You got Abreu at first and Narvaez behind home plate. Defense for the White Sox has not been very good so far this year, but not too bad last night.
Yeah, they got the job done. They broke some trends last night at the Brewers' expense as Christian Yelich settles in. And it's really eye-popping in that the statistic that the Brewers, for the first time all year, last night lost a game where they led by at least 2 runs. They had an early 3-run lead, but it took to game 58 for that to happen. Speaks very well of this club, certainly speaks well of the bullpen. This is a team that when it grabs the lead, it's like a vice grip. But the White Sox, to their credit, rallied last night.
Yep, up 3-0 early in the game, and you know, the White Sox pitching shut down the Brew Crew.
The Brewers had some early opportunities to bust it open as Yelich sends one into center field. That'll drop in front of Adam Engel, and there's the first hit of the day.
Yeah, off-speed pitch from Shields. He's got a pretty good changeup that goes away from lefties. Kind of mixes it up pretty well. Doesn't throw all that hard.
Big Game James, they called him at one point in his career. Umpire crew. The crew chief is calling balls and strikes today. Greg Gibson, Nick Marley, Doug Eddings, Mark Ripperger, your first, second, and third base umpires respectively. Brewers got the early jump last night on a Ryan Braun 2-run homer. Brawny now hitting back in the 5th spot, where a few days ago he was there for a couple of ball games as Jesus Aguilar hits third here this afternoon again. Remember when Braun came off the DL, he was thinking along the same lines of Craig Counsell. So let's just keep Jesus in the 3-hole. Brawny was there last night, and Jesus back there this afternoon.
Yeah, that's the other part of the game for James Shields. He will drop down. I mean, he'll give you different arm angles, different speeds on pitches. He's a true veteran.
Yeah, he started to tweak his delivery, and maybe tweak is not a strong enough word, about the last month of last season, and started to get some better results. And when he works, you will hear that grunting sound. That comes from Shields. There are a few pitchers that will do it. Shields is one of them.
And Zach Greinke.
Yes, sir. Saw him obviously here recently when the Brewers and Diamondbacks hooked up. 2 strikes and nothing to Jesus Aguilar, who went 0 for 5 last night. Mentioned the Brewers had a good start to the game, jumping to a 3-0 lead, but then the bats went quiet. The last hit for the Brew Crew last night came in the 4th inning. Orlando Arcia had a leadoff single, but the only other hitters to reach were via the walk. Council's team still comes into this day with a 3-game lead in the National League Central. Cubs winning last night. Yelich is on the move, and he's safe at second. Running on Narvaez, a stolen base for Christian Yelich, running on Narvaez and Shields.
Yeah, he got a really good jump, did Yelich. Actually sold that one off of James Shields. I think a perfect throw. It might have been a little closer, but you can see by the time Narvaez has it, really no chance. Good job by Yelich to get into scoring position.
The Brewers, in a stretch of games in the past week, were electric. Last night they didn't have a lot of opportunities, but were 0 for 5 with their wrist numbers last night. They stranded 10. A new day today, and a team that is looking to avoid what they have been just terrific at avoiding, and that's losses in consecutive games.
Yeah, it's been over a month. And the Brewers walked 8 times last night, and none of those walks came around to score, which is unusual.
Yeah, Hector Santiago, the starter, walked 5. He lasted but 3 1/3, but the bullpen for the White Sox was very good. Aguilar draws a walk, so the Brewers with a little something cooking here in the first inning. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, Shields looked a little bit upset with themselves those last couple of pitches. That last one, yeah, barely able to be caught by the catcher. Missed badly. Looks a little disgruntled out there in the mound.
But you mentioned a couple of minutes ago he has pitched into some bad luck. If you look at pitching coach Don Cooper, Shields has had very little in the way of run support. Matter of fact, each of his last 9 starts, his team has scored no more than 3 runs for him. His one winning decision was on opening day against the Royals in Kansas City. He's had nothing to show for his efforts since, as Travis Shaw steps to the plate.
Yeah, 6 no decisions for James Shields this year, and he has the most no decisions in all of baseball since the beginning of 2011. 73 of them.
We talk a lot about how records are deceiving. He has certainly pitched well enough in probably any number of those outings to get himself a win. He was off speed to Shaw to even the count. Came over in a trade from San Diego on Independence Day 2016 to Shields, and really struggled the rest of that year with Chicago, going 4-12 and an ERA of 6.77. Little bouncer back to Shields, chance for 2. Anderson 1, and that's a double play. And the Brewers' threat is turned back on a 1-6-3 twin killer. White Sox coming up. The inning as they do not score in the top of the first here in Chicago. And now Rick Renteria's team will be taking its first cuts. They won game number 17 last night, snapped their most recent losing streak, which was at 4 games. Let's check out Renteria's batting order here this afternoon. Again, presented by Potawatomi. Yoan Moncada will lead things off, followed by Yolmer Sanchez and Jose Abreu. Matt Skoll, Tim Anderson, Omar Narvaez in the middle. Adam Engel, Charlie Tilson, and Trace Thompson rounding out the White Sox batting order. And Moncada wasting no time against Chacin. And he is covering first on the feed from Aguilar for out number 1.
Yeah, Chacin's been pretty good. He had a 273 earned run average in the month of May. That covers 5 starts, and that includes his last time out against the Mets. Gave up 5 runs in 6 1/3, so it was much better than that. Before that start, Brewers have had good success with Chacin on the mound. His earned run average is all the way down to 369.
Those first couple outings were very choppy, and then starting to turn things around. A good outing on April 20th against the Marlins at Miller Park. Facing Yolmer Sanchez, the third baseman now. Against the Royals in his next outing, Kansas City came out very aggressive against Chacin, and it turned into a very efficient night's work for Yolis in 5 2/3. And really maybe a hiccup here or there at Cincinnati, an outing that was short at the end of April, but up until his last start against the Mets, he was humming along pretty good.
And still got into the 7th inning against New York.
Shaw will run out of room. Yeah, he gave up 5 runs in that game, did Chacin, but Brewers bats were able to pick things up in an 8-7 win. He has been good. He has made every turn. We talked at the open about the injuries this staff, obviously Knebel in the bullpen, Boone Logan in spring training. Not to mention the starters with Zach Davies, who's back on the DL, along with Chase Anderson, who was on the DL with that stomach ailment, the food poisoning issue. But Chacin, knock on wood, so far so good.
Yeah, for the most part, he's been able to manage his pitch count much better than he did early in the season. Able to get deeper into games, getting outs early in the count like he just did to Moncada. A good 2-seam sinker, the slider curveball combination. He's starting to throw a few more changeups.
Derek Johnson has done just such great work. You get Chacin and others who have talked without even being asked about DJ, about his effect and the positive influence he's had. Brock, as you mentioned, he's not afraid to think outside the box, and this staff has really taken to it.
And he started to convince these guys to pitch up in the strike zone before it became popular, and it's been successful.
Sanchez sends one in the air. Jonathan Villar will put it away for out number 2. Let us again check out that batting order for the White Sox, presented by Potawatomi. Seen Moncada and Sanchez. Jose Abreu at the plate now. Matt Skoll, DH hits cleanup. Tim Anderson, Omar Narvaez, Adam Engel, Charlie Tilson, and Trace Thompson rounding out the White Sox batting order. They too wearing their 1983 unis here this afternoon.
I'd like to see him break out those big collar shirts and the shorts.
Oh yeah, Bill Veeck era back into the 70s, right?
You betcha.
Speaking of thinking outside the box.
Right. Yep. Shorts and baseball. At what point was that a good idea?
So you would have been thumbs down if they would have said, "Hey, Rock, what do you think?"
I don't know. Be tough on the knees sliding.
Yes, it would. Those hot Chicago days, hot Midwest days. Abreu pops this one up. Aguilar giving chase, out of play. It is kind of fun, and you see it throughout the course of the year. We see the Brewers obviously on Friday home games. You see them wearing the ball and glove and those very popular uniforms of the day. But we're seeing it here this afternoon.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with honoring history a little bit of this great game.
Yep. I'm reminded of a 25-inning game at Old Comiskey Park that the Brewers and White Sox locked horns. I was part of that.
Time of game would have been
2 days.
Straight through.
Yeah.
That's a called third strike as Chacin has a good start to his Saturday afternoon, sending down the Sox in order. We are through 1 here in Chicago. No score, Brewers and White Sox. Some people might call that different. From Wisconsin, we call it Saturday. Got the hat on, feeling good. Split loyalties there.
That guy's confused.
Get that individual straightened out. Ryan Braun hitting 5th. We saw that a few days ago. 5 spot. Homered last night, a 2-run blast in the 1st inning. Ron Choi and Jonathan Villar here in inning number 2 for Milwaukee. I mentioned when Bronny was going through a stretch rocker, he was stinging the ball, but right at someone, and coming off the DL, having a little better luck. They say it evens out. It probably doesn't, but staying with it.
Depends on who you talk to,
Right.
pitchers or hitters. But he has lined into a lot of outs this year.
Braun a strikeout victim too early on now for James Shields.
It dropped down a little bit. You know, slider than fastball to get Braun. And that one down the heart of the plate, a little bit above the knees. He keeps you honest up there. He changes release points, changes speeds on every one of his pitches, different movement.
Here is Ji-Man Choi, a valuable weapon here for Craig Counsell as the Brewers have their 2nd of 5 consecutive games against American League competition in AL ballparks. So the DH in play, and that's Choi's spot here today for Counsell.
We have 3 here, 3 in Cleveland. Or I should say 2 in Cleveland. And then 3 in Philly.
Challenging road trip here for the Brewers, trying to take care of things in Chicago. That goes off the mound. Anderson on the shift is there, and that's out number 2.
Oh, right back through the middle. Does Shields get a piece of it? Looked like it. That'll go as a 1-4-3 put out.
So 2 away, bases empty here in the 2nd inning. It's Jonathan Villar back in the lineup here this afternoon, and he's been swinging a pretty good bat of late. It's the opportunity at 2nd here today. We saw Hernan Perez there last night.
That was actually a 1-6-3 put out.
Yeah, on the shift.
Yeah, the shift got me once again.
It gets all of us.
There's Anderson, and playing up the middle where the second baseman would normally be playing. Double play depth.
Villar, a homer, drove in 5 on the homestand for the Brewers, and Shields has made him look bad in the first 2 offerings here. And when he's on, he'll make a lot of hitters look bad.
And he's been on quite a bit lately. Been throwing well.
0-2 the count. Shields was an all-star with the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, back in 2011. Talk about how things have changed in baseball. That year he recorded 11 complete games. Today, that is pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, you're not going to see that again, probably. Right now, there's only been 5 complete games in all the National League.
And what, 15 in the American League
15,
right now?
yeah.
The league, not a team, the league. This is bounced over to Abreu, and that'll do it as he wins the foot race to the bag. 3 unassisted as Shields has a 1-2-3 second. Through an inning in 1/2. Brewers and White Sox, no score.
To Chicago, no score yet between the Brewers and the White Sox here in the bottom of the second. And at the start of the game, we told you about the impact pitching coach Derek Johnson has had on the staff, particularly with Yoeli Chassin, his first season working with him. And DJ shared that he's been using something called a core velocity belt with Chassin. It's something developed by his friend Lance Wheeler, and really it acts as a harness to help the pitcher feel how his hips move through the pitch. And so he says sometimes a guy like Chassin will have a tendency to get stuck in his delivery if he's struggling. So it's a way for them to feel kind of how the hip moves when they're more aware of that movement, when it feels right. And Johnson says it's really effective because he says it's better for a player to be able to feel it when it feels right versus trying to explain it to them of how it should feel. So Chassin said it's something that he's done with Derek Johnson. They've worked on it the last few starts in bullpens, and it's something that has really paid off in terms of his delivery.
You wonder how Cy Young got through a career without that stuff, huh? But I mean, the stuff that they use, I mean, very technical and state of the art, and the stuff works. I'm just joking, but you know, the game has changed so much, and there's so many different ways. Yeah, good pitch here by Chassin to get Skoll, but you know, it's such a different way of evaluating and guys learning, you know, how to get better at this level. It's incredible. I mean, you have to be on top of this stuff.
Yeah, and DJ is, let's say he read the book, but the more accurate description, he wrote the book, right?
Yeah.
And he has been coaching / teaching at every level. I know he talked with you guys about that early on in spring training. Tim Anderson sends one into center field, and Lorenzo Cain with the catch out number 2.
Adam played perfectly. Adam shaded around toward right, a little shallow, able to, you know, catch up to that one. Yeah, a little flare into center field. You can see the White Sox, I mean, attacking early. They're figuring that Chassin wants to get ahead in the count and then do his thing with pitches out of the strike zone. And we've seen a lot of early swings.
Yeah, a couple of men he has retired on the first pitch, reminiscent of the outing several weeks ago against the Royals in Kansas City. Here's Omar Narvaez. And in the RBI parade last night for Chicago. White Sox were outstanding last night with runners in scoring position. They got a lot done with 2 outs. They went 6 for 8 with runners in scoring position and a ton of 2-out damage, including in that really game deciding 6th inning. The first 2 were retired, 4 straight reached.
Yeah, had 3 different 3-hit innings. A couple of 3-run innings, a 2-run inning in the 7th.
Chassin has retired the first 5, including Matt Skoll and Tim Anderson here in the 2nd inning. And that streak ends as Narvaez goes back up the middle.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. He's an innings eater. Talking about James Shields. He's averaging 6 1/3 innings in 11 starts this year. That's pretty good. Brewers are 9-3 in the 12 starts that Chassin has made so far this year. That's always a good statistic. And the Brewers haven't lost back-to-back games. We've talked about all this stuff already, but hey, I'm going to say it again. Haven't lost back-to-back games. And this is the last time we mentioned that Cup Series.
Who?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the last time they lost back-to-back games.
Don't know what you're talking about. Here's Adam Engel. He attacks the first pitch. This White Sox team, their slugging percentage has been good, but they have a lot of anemic batting averages. Engel went into last night's game. You see his numbers. Really been struggling at the plate, which was a carryover from the last 60 or so games last year, but it was a factor last night. Bottom of the order, wrapped out 5 hits for the White Sox.
Engel with a bunt base hit last night down the third base line. These guys can run a little bit. They steal some bases, that's for sure.
Lead the majors in that category. Baez would not be a threat. They have 48 stolen bases as a team. Brewers run well, but no one steals more than the White Sox. Engel can cover a lot of ground out in the center field. He's trying to find a way to get more consistency with him at the plate. Very young White Sox ball club. Talked about it last night.
They're playing with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. They have a very deep minor league system. They have loaded up with a lot of prospects and good talent down in the minors, and trades. That one just misses the old noggin.
Breaking ball that didn't break. 3 balls, 1 strike to Adam Engel. So carry out a play. It's a White Sox ball club, no question. A rebuilding team. They really have a lot of excitement about their prospects in the minor leagues, AAA, AA. A lot of talent. Michael Kopech, a flame-throwing pitcher. Eloy Jimenez, someone they feel can, an outfielder, came over in the Jose Quintana trade with the Cubs last season. In the full count. They get another offering from Chacin.
Yeah, they have a couple of pretty good catching prospects down in the minor leagues.
Yeah, their catching depth is certainly going to get tested with young catchers, with Wellington Castillo suspended for 80 games. PED related violation. Huge hit to this White Sox ball club. Payoff pitch again. And nice stop by Aguilar. Got to get there, and he does. Big man able to beat Engel to the bag, and that'll do it for Chicago in the 2nd inning. No problem, says Jesus. Scoreless after 2.
$20,000 cars. Before you get excited, it's a mini replica bullpen car that's courtesy of Quick Trip. Reserve your tickets today at Brewers.com. 20,000.
That's cool. But you got my attention.
Yeah, that's on Sunday, June 17th. A mini replica bullpen car with wheels that actually roll.
Oh, here we go. You want to say it, Rock, today?
Why the long face?
Thank you very much.
There you go. Am I that predictable?
I just love that. What am I going to wear today at the ballpark?
Yeah.
Well, let's go with this.
It might rain.
What do you think, son? Yeah, he does this all the time. Oh yeah, does it fit?
That might be a holdover from when Carlos Lee with the Brewers.
El Caballo.
El Caballo.
Eric Kratz leading off here in the 3rd for Milwaukee. Well, we're honoring the 80s. Obviously, we don't go back that just a few years ago with El Caballo, but anything to celebrate the history, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Brewers had a relief pitcher, Mark Clear. His nickname was the Horse.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe he's a Mark Clear fan.
Could be. Very good. We're trying to help this guy out.
Yeah.
Kratz swings and lifts one deep into left field, and it is gone. Number 2 for Eric Kratz as a Milwaukee Brewer. And the Crew first on the board.
Well, talking about going down and getting one. That ball was down and in. He just golfed it right down the left field line. Only question was it going to be fair. El Caballo digging it. Check out the pitch. Down and in. He just kind of nice easy swing, golfs it on out of here down the left field line. Plenty of distance. And stayed fair right down the line.
Boy, what a first week as a Brewer for Eric Kratz. He's now 5 for 9 at the plate, a couple of home runs. Here's Arcia sending one to Tim Anderson for out number 1. Good first week for the Brewers. The veteran catcher.
That curveball down and in. Home run number 2. Our Powerball home run count for Eric Kratz. Big, strong catcher. Able to muscle that one down the line.
Stay fair, he says. It does. Takes James Shields deep for the first run of the game.
Only the 5th home run allowed by Shields. He's done a really good job keeping it in the ballpark this year.
Facing Lorenzo Cain. Yeah, that has been a change for Shields. He's had some years where he has given up a ton, including 2006 between the Padres and the White Sox. He served up 40 home runs that season. Has yet to have a start this year where he has given up more than one. Matter of fact, he's gone clean in that department his last 3 starts before a couple of minutes ago. Cain with a big swing and sends one out to Adam Engel. That's out number 2.
Well, he does a real good job keeping hitters off balance with the different arm angles, and he's got that 4-pitch mix. And not a big strikeout guy, only 45 strikeouts and just shy of 70 innings before today's game.
Two outs, bases empty for Christian Yelich. Yelich a single in the first inning. He drew 3 walks last night. He and Cain reaching a combined 5 times, and this one sent out into right field, and a very impressive catch by Trace Thompson as he lays out and takes one away from Yelich to end the Brewers' half of the 3rd inning. But the Crew getting on the board first as Eric Kratz goes deep, his 2nd home run in his first week as a Milwaukee Brewer. We are through 2 1/2 in Chicago. Milwaukee the early lead. Every match live and more than 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Charlie Tilson wasting no time. A bouncer to Aguilar, who is able to beat Tilson to the bag for out number 1. Well, the top of the 3rd inning ended on a very impressive catch. Trace Thompson taking one away as the right fielder lays out for the catch. And check out our favorite fan, like father like son. Son with a long face.
Cold.
See, now they know. On the phone saying you're getting some airtime.
It's nice dad sharing the horse head.
Yeah, there you go. That explains why the kid had no reaction when dad had to, yeah, okay, when do I get to wear it? It's a family thing.
It's got to be a little hot in there, doesn't it?
You would think, you know, it's a fairly cool day here, but yeah, it's
Rubber mask.
imagine wearing that on a 90-degree day.
I think it's a mask.
We're fairly certain.
Yeah.
We don't want to assume. Here's Thompson, who made that impressive catch. Made the horses happy, or one of them. Three balls, one strike. .27 years old, Trace Thompson started this year, played a handful of games with the A's, 3 to be exact, was sent over on April 19th to the White Sox. Mentioned his older brother, Clay Thompson, with the Golden State Warriors. Up 1-0 over the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. Payoff pitch. It's hit well down the line. Foul ball. And a nice catch. No glove required. No beer spilled.
Can't get any better than that.
That's big time. Chassin again ready with the 3-2 pitch.
That's that curveball that Chassin. He'll take a little off. He'll change the grip, release point, act more like a curveball than a slider. And that one fooled Thompson, but he was able to foul it off.
8th pitch of the at bat coming up. Thompson works him for a walk. First one given up by Jhoulys Chassin today. Back to the top of the order in Yoan Moncada. This White Sox team and the young talent relying a lot on this 23-year-old. Part of that Chris Sale trade. He came over, as did the pitching prospect Michael Kopech and a couple of minor leaguers.
Hey, this guy's going to want to run. Hate walking the number 9 guy to get to the top of the order. Especially guys who can run like he can.
A couple of steals for him this season. He holds, and a strike to Moncada. .48 steals on this season for the White Sox, the most in baseball. Moncada has been very strikeout prone. Going back to last year, his K rate was 32%. It's even higher this season to date, about 35%. His career really just starting at the big league level. Sends one into left center field. There to make the play is Ryan Braun for out number 2.
Hey, be the first to know all the latest Brewers news with MLB At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. With At Bat, you get breaking news, live radio broadcast, lineup updates sent right to your fingertips. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Up to date on everything going on in baseball. A little dust up last night that was no more than chatter between the Rangers and the Angels on a game-ending double play. We had Odor going in hard to Andrelton Simmons. Question as to whether he deviated from the path, but the game was over. A lot of talking, and that's how it ended.
You cannot deviate from your path these days. Sometimes it's called and sometimes it's not.
Odor has been involved in a few scrapes. Of course, you go back a couple of years ago, would fight the good right hand that he showed. Just asked Jose Bautista.
Right, no kidding, right?
It's a good right cross. But it did not get that far last night. Dugouts emptied, bullpens emptied, and people were patting each other on the back. Yolmer Sanchez, the hitter for Chicago. Well, the big one this week was the Anthony Rizzo play in Pittsburgh, where it was missed by everybody, including in New York. And then the next day, baseball came out and said, no, he deviated from the path.
Should have been a double play. Ball was thrown into right field. Couple of runs scored. Catcher actually went down, got hurt.
Sanchez, a base hit. Thompson runs well. He'll get to third easily, and the White Sox with 2 men out with a little something going on in the third.
It looked like a change up, something that was supposed to be going away. Actually, fastball that was up. That's what happens to two-seam sinkers that end up in the zone. They flatten out. And Sanchez doing a good job hitting it hard back through the middle.
Dreaded sinker that doesn't sink. Back to last night, 8 of the last 9 hits for Chicago have come with 2 outs. A lot of damage done last evening, and Chacin trying to prevent that here in the third. Tough customer now in Jose Abreu. I really appreciated how you put that the next day, going back to close the whole Rizzo Pittsburgh Pirates story from earlier in the week. There's 2 issues here, whether you like the rule and knowing the rule, right? And you have been on record multiple times as a former catcher.
Yeah.
You don't like it.
I don't like it, but you got to adhere to it. That's not the point anymore, whether you like it or not. It is a rule and needs to be enforced, but a lot of times it's not. Why have it?
1 strike and nothing to Abreu.
A good breaking pitch there. Same thing with catchers not being able to block the play. A lot of times you see them. They're in front of the plate without the ball. They tag out a runner and they call them out. It's tough on the umpires. They have enough to do. That's why you rely on that review team in New York. Kind of the voice of reason in those situations, and you figure they get that right. They missed it in that Rizzo situation.
They did. And baseball owned it the next day. Now the game was lopsided. I'd be hard pressed to say it affected the outcome of the game, but you could get a little retaliation. Rizzo fully expected that. Seen and Abreu hooking up here as Abreu stays alive. Release has given up a couple of singles so far. This is the first threat of the day for Chicago.
Eric Kratz giving some signals in the event. Sanchez thinking about taking off, maybe try to steal a run with an 0-2 count. First and third, 2 outs.
A play we have seen the Brewers try multiple times.
Boy, you don't want to get too fancy on the bases with this guy up. This is your run producer.
He is the one constant with this ever-changing White Sox roster. Just put him down for 30 bombs and 100 RBIs. And a big strikeout for Yolis Chacin as he takes care of Jose Abreu. And the White Sox strand a couple. Good breaking ball, low and away. Got Abreu to chase. We are through 3 in Chicago. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Chicago, Illinois on a Saturday afternoon. Good start for the Brewers, and Eric Kratz home run. That has been the scoring through the first 3 innings. Jesus Aguilar leading things off. Shields starts in with a breaking ball for strike 1. Shift that Aguilar sees all year.
Yeah, who doesn't get a shift these days, right?
It's news when you don't. Slow curve is sent into left field, a base hit.
That's that 2-strike approach for Aguilar. It's been very effective this year. Shortens up, just tries to put the ball in play, and there's a mistake right there for Shields. That one ended up right down the middle of the curveball at only 67 miles an hour. Look at the way he shortens up. He's trying to make contact and is rewarded with a base hit.
Such a good hitter. We know about the power. This guy just gets on base. Last night he struggled, as any hitter will, but his on base percentage 366 coming into this game today. There's Travis Shaw. Had a couple infield hits last night, hitting his first career bunt single. It's a fly ball into right. Trace Thompson is there. Out number 1.
Yeah, just missed it. We're talking about Aguilar and his 2-strike approach last year. With 2 strikes, he had 203. This year, it was 280. Big difference. Nice adjustment, and maturing as a hitter.
Really is. Maybe a game or 2 last year with the 2-strike approach was outstanding. That game at Yankee Stadium, made a couple big home runs, and if memory serves correctly, they were with 2 strikes. But yeah, you're seeing the jump, the maturity of a player who toiled a long time in the minor leagues. Had his big chance last year with the Brewers and made it happen. One out, one on for Ryan Braun. Time now for the AARP take on Ryan Braun against the American League. And the numbers, as you might imagine, are pretty good. Pretty good against just about anybody, anytime. But against the AL, you see hitting better than 300. That's a season. 165 games, 27 homers, 114 driven in.
Yeah.
Had a 2-run shot last night off Hector Santiago.
And a lot of times, you know, against pitching that he's never seen before.
It's really impressive. How many times do you hear some of the best hitters in the game? You see someone for the first time, if he's a Cy Young winner or some rookie,
Right.
that struggle mightily.
And the more you face a pitcher, the better chance you have of, you know, figuring out what he's going to do, what he's going to throw, and when. Once again, a shift, playing to pull in the infield, actually playing into the opposite field in the outfield. Angle way swung around toward right in center field.
A ball, 2 strikes. And for the second time, Shields gets Braun swinging out number 2.
Breaking ball this time, maybe changeup. Yep, changeup down in the zone. I don't want a fastball his first time up.
Two away with Aguilar, the runner at first. Here's G-Man Choi. Called up from Colorado Springs yesterday, taking the spot of Zach Davies, who's on the 10-day DL. This is the 5th start for the G-Man. 7th game. He's unable to check his swing. Ripperger, the third base umpire.
Yep, he went.
2 strikes and nothing. And the slow curve gets Choi to end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. Leadoff single wasted for Aguilar. Still 1-0 Milwaukee.
To make sure your Brewers are well represented at the Midsummer Classic, go to brewers.com/vote and cast your ballot filled with Milwaukee Brewers to help send your hometown stars to Washington this July. A lot of worthy candidates on the Brewers this year.
Boy, I'll say. Don't worry about being a homer. Both Brewers, you got a lot of them that certainly deserving of heading to D.C.
You can't vote for pitchers, but you would figure that Brewer bullpen's going to have a couple of representatives, maybe.
I can think of a lanky, long-locked left-hander who would be a pretty good candidate. To say that slowly.
Yeah, and a right-hander with a split change that's been pretty good.
Mr. Hader, Mr. Jeffress have just been electric. Matt Skoll, the DH, hitting cleanup, leading off here for the White Sox in the 4th inning. To the number of rookies on the roster, 7 of them. Matt Skoll made his big league debut on Monday, had a single and a home run. Off speed gets Skoll here for out number 1. Well, let's get an update on Eric Thames and his recovery from the thumb injury. Let's check in with Sophia.
Well, he's been on the disabled list for over a month now, and again, coming back from that left thumb surgery on the torn UCL, but he is making good progress. He's been cleared to resume his baseball activities. Yesterday, he was on the field taking batting practice for the first time. So he's been rehabbing in Maryvale at their minor league training complex. And so he says, Craig Counsell said that Thames will continue to do that over the weekend. He'll start playing in games in Arizona on Monday, and likely after that head out on a minor league rehab assignment. So Thames is getting closer to rejoining the big league team here.
All right, Sophia, yeah, we all had a chance. Sophia, Rock, you and I all had a chance to catch up with Eric out on that trip to Arizona a couple of weeks ago in the weight room. And as you brought up rightly, do they have enough weights for him there?
Yeah, they had to bring some in. But yeah, there's not a whole lot left of what we remember as being Maryvale Baseball Complex, but the minor league side is still functioning. Still a couple of fields over there being used.
Yeah, that was a fascinating day. We had a chance to take the tour of what's going on and the work that's in progress. And that spring training home of the Brewers will just be spectacular. Ready to go for next spring training. Tim Anderson sends one to his counterpart. 2 up, 2 down to the 4th. Chassin has given up just a couple of hits. White Sox threatened in the 3rd inning, had runners at the corners, and you at least got a big strikeout of Jose Abreu. Now he faces Omar Narvaez, the catcher.
He continues to pound the strike zone. Pitch count in really good shape. 53. Working here in the 4th inning. 2 outs.
Getting those first pitch strikes. In fact, he has been able to accomplish that 10 times in the first 15 hitters he's faced. And this is hit into right field. It's hit well. Yelich will make the catch up against the fence. Ball can jump out of here, but it holds that fly ball off the bat of Narvaez. As Christian Yelich over in right field this afternoon. Just enough room. Still 1-0 Milwaukee after 4. heroes, and today we focus on Christian Yelich, supporter of the Sluggers for Soldiers. Had that going, was a Miami Marlin. His brother Cameron is a United States Marine. Having a terrific first year with the Brew Crew is Yelich. Better than 300. His batting average, hits for power, gets on base, steals bases. Plays a pretty mean outfield as well. Christian Yelich. Jonathan Villar leading off. He plays a pretty mean outfield. Just enough yard to hold this fly ball off the bat of Narvaez.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that was a big fly. I thought that was a tie game. Yeah, the way the ball carries here, it seems like there's a bit of a jet stream out to right center. That one holds in the ballpark.
And a sigh of relief from the starting pitcher for Milwaukee. Yelich, a gold glove in his resume. Probably some more in his future. Certainly in every opportunity as Villar starts the fifth with a base hit to right field. Takes that big turn. Be careful, and just does get back.
Come on, Johnny. That was close. I'm sure the White Sox are going to take a look at it. No need to take any chances on a clean single into right field to lead off an inning. Villar gets a fastball, able to pound it hard into right. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, snap throw to first and just back. Well, he told him not to throw it, but he did.
I'm not going anywhere. Just hang on to it.
Holds the hand up like, no, don't throw it.
And for some reason, they didn't pay attention to him.
And because of that, he almost got thrown out.
Wow. He has been much, much better with decision making. Still not perfect, you can say, but much better. He's been able to tone it down on the bases.
Yeah, good decisions. I think, yeah, that's the way you put it. I mean, he's making smart decisions on the bases and the field. Much better than last year, and that was put to the test right there. That big turn. Any kind of bobble, I think Jonathan Villar is thinking about second base, but just does get back.
Good thing the brakes worked. Any slippage, and he would have been out.
He got a big lead over there.
He is 8 for 9 in the stolen base department this year as Villar. Big number for him a couple of years ago. Got caught a lot. He stole a lot. If they can pitch out here, nothing doing. Shields facing the man responsible for the one run here today, Eric Kratz.
Villar diving back, getting airborne, slowing himself down a little bit, making it a little bit closer than it should be.
Single to lead off this fifth inning, hit number 4 for Milwaukee, and Kratz sends one through up the middle. Villar makes the turn, and the Brewers have runners at the corners with nobody out.
How about the Brewers catcher? How hot has he been since being called up? They pick him up in a trade, they bring him up, and he has been swinging the bat. Just what the doctor ordered, a breaking pitch. He takes it right back through the middle. And with nobody out, the Brewers in business, runners at the corners. Kratz 2 for 2.
Boy, good for him. He has bounced around a lot in his career, pretty well documented with the Pirates, a few years with the Phillies, also the Blue Jays and the Royals, Astros. Came over from the Yankees system. There's always a team that wants him. Finding out why here in Milwaukee. Here's Arcia.
Well, you want him around because he's a good quality catcher and he does all the right things in the clubhouse. Those are the guys they seem to stick around in their careers.
Well, it really seems to be a focus of this Brewers organization too. Yes, the analytics are a big part of it, but you want some good solid guys to be part of this clubhouse culture here in Milwaukee. Kratz certainly seems to fit that description.
They're clubhouse guys that can play.
Yes. And the early returns have been nothing but positive. Let's see what Arcia can do here. Big threat for Milwaukee in the 5th. He's off that breaking ball from Shields, a ball to strike.
And when Arcia is going well, this is when he punches one into right field. There's a big hole between first and second. He's done a lot of damage in that direction this year and last year. Very good opposite field hitter. Got a lot of room over there.
One pitch. Popped him up. And Tim Anderson will take charge for out number 1.
Shields hangs a breaking pitch. Had a good pitch to hit. Got under it. You can see Arcia mad at himself. So Shields gets away with a mistake on a breaking pitch.
Lorenzo Cain, no doubt, thinking, hang one of those to me. RBI chance here for the center fielder. Lorenzo has the biggest sample size, as you might guess, of any Brewers hitter against Shields. He's 1 for 12 against him. 4 strikeouts. Shields has done a pretty good job in that still relatively small sample size.
Cain's looking down at Kratz, who faked a stolen base, and I can only imagine what Cain's thinking. What are you doing?
Just stay put there, guy.
Yeah, you just stay right there. I'll drive you in a second. This could be disruptive to a hitter.
A lot of room on the right side of the infield for Cain if he could shoot one through. He was going for the back leg long ball there and came up empty. 0-2.
Shields is really hanging a lot of these off speed pitches this inning. Check this one out. Yikes.
He's had a couple of them coming in there at 67. Two strikes and nothing to Cain. The R began this inning with a single to right. Kratz went back up the middle. That's how Milwaukee has him at first and third. (16 RBIs for Cain to go with 6 home runs. And again the slow curve, and that's out number 2.
Great opportunity for the Brewers, first and third with the bottom of the order setting the table. Pop up, strikeout. Curveball in a much better spot for Shields that time, down in his zone with 2 strikes.
That upper 60s curveball doing some damage here against Brewers hitters. Let's see if Yelich can deliver. Back to the fastball. Good situation this season for Yelich. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Has another chance right now. 67 multiple times, 69 on the curveball that struck out Kane a moment ago.
It's certainly under hitting speed right there when you're getting into the upper 60s. With the breaking pitch, he's hung some, but he's thrown some pretty good ones.
Here's the 1-1. It's only the second time that Shields has faced the Brewers. Beat him in Milwaukee a couple of years ago. 7 innings of 7-hit shutout baseball. And we will give him the corner. He will give him the corner. Greg Gibson, 2-2 the count.
Yep, change up that time.
Shields on the brink of wiggling out of trouble. And he does. A strikeout of Yelich. First and third with nobody out, and James Shields gets a pop-up from Arcia, a strikeout from Kane, and a strikeout from Yelich to end the inning.
Good game so far, a 1-0 lead for Milwaukee. Here in the 5th, let's check out our UW-Whitewater minor league scouting report on Thursday night. What a performance by Biloxi starter Zach Brown. 7 shutout innings for him, gave up just 4 hits, 0 walks, 10 strikeouts on the night. You take a look at his season numbers, very impressive. 4-0 for him, a 2.76 earned run average. Josh Hader-like strikeout numbers, 62 for him on this season. He was the 5th round draft pick in 2016.
It's a farm system. You know, we've talking with the White Sox folks about how strongly they feel about their system. The Brewers rock remains very, very strong.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, all the trades that they made to beef up that minor league system, one of the best in the big leagues. In the meantime, feeding the Brewers at the big league level. Guys coming up and down, doing a good job.
Adam Engel leading off here in the 5th here for Chicago. Shields pitched out of big trouble. Brewers had him at the corners with nobody out. Couldn't scratch. Wow, Chassin has given up just a couple of hits to Rick Renteria's White Sox. They had runners at the corners in the 3rd inning, and Chassin got out of that situation with a strikeout of Jose Abreu. Set him down in order in the 4th. Engel, the center fielder, grounded to Aguilar in the 2nd inning. That is college ball in Louisville. he offered. Yes, sir. That is out number one.
Almost hit him, too. That pitch way down and in. And the swing takes precedent over anything else. Not sure how it didn't hit him. Wouldn't have mattered because he went.
Strikeout number 5 for Yolis Chassin. Seeing the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Sox batting order. So showing bunt. Runs well. Just trying to keep him healthy. A couple of years ago made his debut and it lasted not quite a full game. Suffered a hamstring injury that ended his season. Foot issue last year. For a team that runs a lot, he's someone they're counting on to add to that. That's a pretty good stolen base seasons in the minor leagues.
Yeah, hamstring and foot injuries, not good for a guy that relies on his speed.
He's limited to 64 games last year. Or check that, he didn't play at all last year because of foot and ankle issues that cropped up before the season began. He was able to get some work in last year in the Arizona Fall League. Ground ball to Arcia. Nice pick by Aguilar. 2 up, 2 down.
Hey, tailgate season is in full swing, and you can get your next tailgate party started with the Brewers Tailgate Ticket Pack, which includes 6 flexible ticket vouchers, valid for any Friday home game, plus a pair of free parking passes, offered just $20 per person. Learn more at brewers.com/tailgate.
Ooh, that's gold. You get parking passes too. $20 a person.
Yeah.
That's an easy decision. Jump on that.
I didn't see a whole lot of tailgating outside this ballpark today.
I did not either. Good crowd.
Yeah, real good crowd. They had fireworks last night. They're giving away road 1983 jerseys today.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, both teams wearing their 1983 unis. It's 80s day here at the ballpark. They had rock night last night. Celebration of rock and roll. They did not bring back the disco demolition.
Yeah, that didn't go well the first time.
That was one and done. 1979. Much tamer version last night.
There's a jersey.
2 balls, 1 strike. Thompson to center field. And Lorenzo Cain will squeeze it. A 1-2-3 inning again for Yolis Chassin. His team protecting a 1-run lead after 5. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lights. Great taste at only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Chicago, Illinois on a Saturday afternoon. Very comfortable day today. In the 60s by the lake. Good pitching matchup. James Shields and Ulysses Chassin.
Yeah, sun trying to pop out. Had a few sprinkles around the hotel this morning.
Yeah, you were worrying us, asking if we had the umbrellas handy and all that. Here's Aguilar sending one well into left center field, and it's off the wall. Aguilar on his way into second. A leadoff double here in the 6th.
Well, the Brewers have been able to get some base runners. They've had a ton of leadoff base runners. Last 4 innings, leadoff man has been able to get on. Time to plate one here. Yeah, there's a fastball, a little two-seamer. I think Shields thought that was out of the ballpark. But Aguilar just didn't barrel it up. A little bit off the end. And off the base of the wall, and a leadoff double. 4 consecutive innings for the Brewers.
Let's see if they can capitalize the 1 run so far in Eric Kratz's home run in the 3rd inning. RBI chance now for Travis Shaw. He's driven in 36 on the season. This team in multiple categories, among the league leaders in big flies and RBIs. Takes a look at a strike from Shields. Let's check out today's Powerball home run leaderboard. Shaw's gone deep 13 times. Aguilar next in line. Yelich and Eric Thames with 7. Kane and Braun with half a dozen. Shaw rips one out of play. Brewers looking for their first hit this series with the runner in scoring position.
Yep, 0 for 4 so far today.
Leadoff double in the 6th for Aguilar. Once again, a chance for the Brewers to pad the lead a little bit. And that upper 60s mile/hour curve.
Just tantalizing. I mean, it looks so good to you when it's coming in. Just can't wait back long enough. It's in the 60s, but it still has pretty good break to it. That's the trick. Tough combination with that lack of velocity and the good sharp break. Good spin rate on that curveball.
2-strike pitch. That bounces away from Narvaez, and Aguilar will get 3rd.
Yeah, good job, Aguilar. That secondary lead, looking to take that extra base. Didn't get away too far from Narvaez, but Aguilar now at 3rd with nobody out. Taking that secondary lead, ball pops away, and he's on his way to 3rd base very quickly. See the secondary lead there, no hesitation, and no chance to get him at 3rd.
Wild pitch has Jesus Aguilar at 3rd with nobody out. 1-2 count to Shaw. Got a piece. Yes, he did.
Yeah, foul tip apparently hit the dirt first. It did.
Shields loading up again with a 1-2. Another foul ball popped in and out of the mid of Narvaez.
Another foul tip.
Brewers with 6 hits in the game. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, ton of off-speed stuff today. Change-up, curveballs. They're calling them ephuses, that high 60s curveball.
Pitch number 8 to Shaw coming up. There's another one of them. Extended at bat here for Travis Shaw, trying to pick up Aguilar at third. The 2-2. This will be at least a 10-pitch at bat.
10-pitch at bat and only 2 fastballs. A lot of off-speed stuff.
Popped him up. Abreu calls for it. And that's out number 1.
Shields doing such a good job keeping this Brewer attack off balance. Look at this. Little change up. And Shaw waited back, got under it, upset with himself. Another opportunity with a man at third base and nobody out. Brewer's not able to cash in.
There's Ryan Braun just looking to get the ball in play against Shields. Has good numbers with runners in scoring position. Coming into the game, Braun does. 11 for 34. Sends one to right field and a foul ball.
Well, he had Braun shaded toward the line over there in right field. Had that been fair, it would have been caught. Thompson swung right around toward the line.
One strike pitch. First to check of Aguilar. You see the infield alignment over toward left, and the outfield, as Rock mentioned, shaded the other way.
Yeah. Figuring Brawny's going to pull it if he hits it on the ground and go the other way if it's in the air.
One strike and nothing. Blocked by Narvaez. Brewers missed some chances last night. Left them loaded in the second inning after taking an early 2-0 lead. A lot of traffic on the bases left stranded for Council's team. 10 of them last night. A liner to Anderson, and that's a room service double play. And another opportunity gets turned back. Shields dancing out of trouble multiple times this afternoon. He's given up a home run, and that's it so far. As Braun lines into a double play as Aguilar caught in no man's land. Still a 1-run game in Chicago. All right, Daria, thank you very much. Yoan Moncada leading off the bottom of the 6th as he sends one through the middle. The leadoff single for Moncada.
Yeah, Brewers have had their leadoff hitter aboard in 4 consecutive innings. First time today. Yeah, for the White Sox. There's that two-seam fastball. Might have been up a little bit, but it was away. Good piece of hitting by Moncada to hit it hard back into center field.
3 singles. That has what Chacín has given up so far. He has walked a man. He faces Yolmer Sanchez now. Let me remind you, this White Sox team loves to run. Moncada has stolen 5 bases. He's been caught once. In the air, foul territory. Sanchez can be a dangerous hitter. 6 triples he has so far this year. That leads the American League. He had 8 a year ago. Josh Hader now up in the Brewers bullpen.
Yeah, all hands on deck today from Milwaukee. Hader, Jeffress, Knebel.
Showing bunt. See Chacín's pitch count in good shape. As Craig Counsell has mentioned multiple times, it isn't about that necessarily. It's the best matchup to get the outs. Runners going. Hit in the air to center field. Kane with room. And Moncada has to retreat out number 1.
Yeah, middle of the infield for the Brewers did a good job deking him, but ball was up too far in the air. Hey, today's time of the game, Winnie. You ready? Veterans Memorial Hall in Necedah. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Cheers. Necedah, you've been there.
Yeah. In Juneau County.
Yes, sir. 1 out, 1 on for Jose Abreu. Moncada's running, and he'll get second easily. Tying run now in scoring position.
Yeah, big lead, good jump, the high leg kick, and no chance for Eric Kratz.
His 6th and the team's 49th. One strike and nothing to Abreu. Abreu had a big role last night in the 6th inning with 2 men out. Chase Anderson had retired the first 2 in the inning. Then jammed Abreu. He was able to muscle one out in the left center, and that started what turned out to be a 3-run inning that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, chased, Chase in that game. 2 outs, nobody on. The base hit. Yeah, Craig Counsell went to the bullpen, Boone Logan, then Albers. And before the inning was over, big damage.
First mound visit of the day, either side. Couple of strikeouts this afternoon so far for Abreu. 1 swinging, 1 looking.
Might not be a bad idea to be careful here. You got You got Skoll on deck. You struck him out twice. This is the big guy. This is the big gun in the lineup. Make him hit your pitch. Don't give in.
On deck hitter getting his first week of experience in the big leagues. This with the breaking ball. Hitters count now for Jose Abreu. He's driven in 31. Has 9 home runs and 20 doubles, which leads the American League at 15 of them in May alone. Catches the corner.
Yeah, that's where they've been working Abreu inside. They don't want to allow him to get his arms extended. Not exactly where you want an off-speed pitch, but that's where it ended up.
Full count down to the White Sox first baseman. Yohan Moncada, the runner at second. Up the middle. Stopped by VR. What a play.
Yeah, terrific.
Wow, he saves a run in the process. Is getting to third is Moncada on a terrific play by Jonathan VR.
A nice backhand stab right there. I mean, those are good soft hands for VR. And not only does he just save the run by keeping it in the infield, he's able to get the out at first. That's a big league play.
Saves the run and gets the second out of the inning, and that hitter is the last that Chassin will face here today. They'll go lefty-lefty, 2 outs, tying run at third here in the 6th. Tie this game here in the 6th inning. Jhoulys Chassin, though, rock another very impressive outing.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, eating up innings, 5 2/3, no runs, 3 hits. All the hits are singles. He's able to manage the pitch count pretty well. Only 1 walk that came in the 3rd inning. Had a good breaking pitch, 2-seamer down in the strike zone. Another terrific start for Jhoulys Chassin.
Gives way now to Josh Hader.
And last saw Josh on Wednesday against the Cardinals. Inning in 2/3 scoreless. Averaging 18 strikeouts per 9 innings.
That Skoll was the scheduled hitter, but pinch hitting is Jose Rondon. As cat and mouse game going on. The right-handed hitter to the plate. Has a little bit of pop. Rondon. 32 at bats. He has homered 3 times.
0 for 3 as a pinch hitter.
Strikeout machine out of the bullpen. Form of Josh Hader. It's crazy numbers for Hader out of the pen. Here's the 0-2. And that's what he does. He strikes people out. And the threat is denied, courtesy of the left-hander, Josh Hader. 3 pitches, see you later. Still a 1-run lead for Milwaukee after 6. Brewers lead the White Sox. We move to the 7th inning. Brewers bullpen delivering. Josh Hader getting a strikeout. Teams wearing their 1983 uniforms today, so we thought it'd be fun to compare and contrast the bullpens of yesteryear and today. And some pretty good similarities in ranks. Brewers in the American League, obviously in '83. Very good numbers both then and now as G-Man Choi leads off.
I will tell you this, there weren't 8 guys in the Brewers bullpen in '83.
Subtract about 3 from that and now you're talking, right?
Yeah, 5, 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Man, things have changed.
A ball, a strike to G-Man Choi. Choi, VR, and Kratz here in the 7th inning for Milwaukee. As you mentioned in the open, though, the one similarity is that the Brewers have multiple pitchers out of the pen who can go multiple innings.
Yeah.
So that's the way it was.
Well, that had to be because you didn't have that many guys down there.
Exactly.
Hey, remember that 25-inning game we were talking about? There wasn't a lot of guys in that pen. Mentioned, you know, Chuck Porter was supposed to start the following day. He ended up finishing that game and pitched what, 8 innings?
It was 7 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raleigh Fingers, couple innings. He had a lot of outings of that. That game, by the way, took 8 hours and 6 minutes over 2 days.
With a night's sleep in between.
Harold Baines ended it.
Yeah.
Inning number 25. G-Man Choi sends one into center field. Adam Engel will have enough room for out number 1. Well, that 25-inning game was 1984, but the team's wearing their 83 unis today. Rock, I asked you if you remember. There you are. What a handsome devil.
See, yeah.
Look at that.
It had fit back in those days.
And then it shrunk on you, and you just, well, you know, you still have it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where that was taken. I want to say maybe Tiger Stadium, not sure. Might have been Comiskey Park. I don't know.
Looking sharp on that uni, though. Absolutely.
Mustache going.
Oh, yeah. Those were the days. Another good outing here for James Shields. Talked about the lack of run support. They want to stay in there. And Renteria Change was in the offing, but nope, not yet.
Man, Shields wants to stay in there, see if he can get some run support. You mentioned that earlier today, early in the game. Hasn't got a whole lot of run support this year, which is why he's had so many no decisions. Hasn't won a game since his first start of the year.
Each of his last 9 starts, his team has gotten him no more than 3 runs. Chassin and Hader have shut him out so far this afternoon. Shields remains in the game as he faces VR. And there's a drive into right field, and VR has left the ballpark. 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, he's having a good day. Saved the run on a great play up the middle last half inning, and just took a James Shields off-speed pitch out of the ballpark. I think it was an off-speed pitch. He's been throwing a lot of them, and he jumps all over this. Yep, curveball down the middle, 78 miles an hour. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Yeah, giving the Brewers a 2-0 lead. Boy, he hit that a ton.
Continues to swing a productive bat, so both of the Brewers runs courtesy of the home run.
Bottom of the order.
Yeah, last night it was the White Sox 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Today it's the Brewers, the 7 and 8 hitters, specifically VR, and now Eric Kratz, who homered in the 3rd inning, and he will lift one into left field. Tilson is there for out number 2. Run number 4 for Jonathan VR.
Ain't no doubter down the line, both of them. Kratz down the left field line, VR right down the right field line.
First time this season that Shields has allowed multiple home runs in an outing. Home runs 5 and 6 on the year he has given up. Arcia grounded to short and popped to short.
Really has been a clinic as to how to keep hitters off balance. James Shields today. Fastballs mainly off speed stuff, sliders, curveballs, the ephus. He has got himself in and out of a lot of trouble today.
Brewers had a great opportunity in the 5th inning, among others. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Got out of it as Arcia sends one in the direction of Adam Engel. And that'll do it for the Brewers. 3 fly ball outs and another fly ball that left the ballpark. Jonathan VR smokes one into right field. 2 solo shots the difference so far. Stretch time 2-0 Milwaukee.
Baseball, the Brewers taking a 2-0 lead here in the 7th thanks to Jonathan Villar's home run. And you can join Brewers pitcher Jeremy Jeffress and his teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon coming up Sunday, August 5th. You can enjoy a silent auction and, of course, bowling with Brewers players while raising money for children and their families living with epilepsy. You can register at brewers.com/bowling, or you can call 414-902-4581.
All right, Sophia, thanks much. Move to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Josh Hader remains out there. He needed 3 pitches to dispose of Jose Rondon to win the 6th. He faces Tim Anderson to begin the 7th. Anderson pops it up. Not enough room for Kratz or Aguilar. Kratz with a home run, his 2nd here in his first week as a Brewer.
Home run and a single.
Continues to hit well to the tune of 6 for 10. 6 for 11. 2 strikes and nothing to the Chicago shortstop. He's flied to center and grounded to short. White Sox with 3 hits. 6th inning, they stranded Yoan Moncada at 3rd. Anderson battling here. It's Anderson, Narvaez, and Engel. It's the left-hander who strikes out 18 per 9 innings. Josh Hader.
Yeah, let's see if they try to slide her in the dirt. It's been all fastballs. He's been on it. Bounce it, see if you get him to chase. He did. Left it up. Kratz wants it down. Hader left it up a little bit. Anderson's still alive.
In on the hands and grabbed by Villar for out number 1.
Yeah, the slider effective, even though he didn't strike him out, but he had him thinking about it, and then was able to get in on his hands. He missed by pretty much the entire width of the plate, but effective because it jammed him.
Seems like a minor upset when the ball is put in play against Hader. Nothing but strikes thrown by him so far. 9 pitches, all strikes. You need to mention he struck out Rondon on 3 pitches to end the last inning. Finally, he missed one against Narvaez. He singled to center and sent Christian Yelich to the fence in right field his last at bat in the 4th. Swings and misses. He gets a ton of them. 1-2 the count.
Man, more times than not, he puts the ball where his catcher is setting up. I mean, he did miss his spot on Anderson, but was able to get the out. But that's another part of the game for a Hader that not many people talk about is his control. He didn't walk many.
And Narvaez won't bite on the slider. 67 strikeouts compared to 12 walks this season from Hader. 2-2. Just missing upstairs. Yoeli Chassin went 5 2/3. 3 hit shutout ball. Walked 1, struck out 5. Payoff pitch on the way. And a 1-out walk.
Just talked about it, right?
Yep.
That one's on me. It is something the way that works. Hey, mark your calendars for the season's first 5-county Friday on June 15th. The Brewers take on the Phillies. And all 5-county residents can enjoy half-price tickets for the series opener as long as you don't mention walks. To secure your seats, go to brewers.com/5-county. When will I learn?
We have no effect.
Well,
Or maybe. Jinx. Here's Adam Engel. Engel struck out his last time up. He is grounded to first as well. 2 strikes and nothing to the center fielder. He went 2 for 4 last night. Always calm Josh Hader. About as flat line as it gets.
yeah, a lot of the Brewers pitchers, right?
Yeah, they really are.
Seem to get rattled too easily.
And there's his second strikeout out of the bullpen this afternoon. 2 away.
The calming influence of Derek Johnson. You know who else we haven't talked a whole lot about is Lee Tunnell, bullpen coach down there. He has a lot to say about what goes on in that pen. There's this swing and miss rate for Josh Hader, leading all big league pitchers. Almost 25% of the pitches he throws end up as a swing and a miss.
And you think at the bottom of that graphic of Oldest Chapman, he's solidly ahead of him. Talk about one of the premier flamethrowers in recent years. It's an amazing stretch.
Yeah, but Chapman hits triple digits. Josh Hader doesn't.
No, you're right. Just hits his spots.
Yeah. He's got that deceptive delivery. Hides it.
He has Tilson behind in the count. 0-2. And that deception, it just at 94, it just, or 95, it really jumps on you.
Yeah, just don't see it out of his hand. Yeah, the way he gets rid of it.
Armaez the runner at first. 0-2 to Charlie Tilson. And that is a called third strike. 2 more punch outs here in the inning for Hader. He has 3 through an inning and a third. The Horseman likes it. And the Brewers keep a 2-run lead after 7. pitchers duel here this afternoon. Home run balls from Eric Kratz and Jonathan Villar. That is the difference. James Shields continues on the mound, top of the order now for Milwaukee, as Lorenzo Cain leads off. This is the 4th consecutive outing for Shields, going at least 7, in the 8th straight where he's gone at least 6.
Without a win.
You're right. Nothing to show for it.
Nothing. Losses and no decisions. Hang with him. Well, he's been good today. Impressive the way he's been able to mix his pitches.
We mentioned the stretch of games, Shields' 9 straight starts where the Sox have provided him with no more than 3 runs. He's had 4 starts this year where he's got no support at all.
Yeah, zip.
2-2 to Cain. Cain, Yelich, and Aguilar here in the 8th for Milwaukee. Lorenzo looking for his first hit of the series. He did walk twice last night. And a full count.
Lefty getting loose down in that White Sox bullpen. Might be his last hitter here.
It's Jace Fry up for Chicago. Curveball is sent into left field. And it's gone. The 3rd solo shot of the day for the Brewers. This time it's Cain. And it's a 3-0 lead for Milwaukee.
I think it was another curveball. All 3 home runs have come on the curveball today. Eric Kratz, Jonathan Villar, now Cain able to backleg one out of here. There it is, up in the zone. He's been flirting with that pitch all day with Cain, and this time he's able to center on it, barrel it up, and knock it out of here. 3-0 Brewers.
First time all year that Shields has given up multiple home runs. 3 of them, in fact, today. As Lorenzo Cain ends the day for Shields. 3-0 Milwaukee in the 8th. Inning, forcing Rick Renteria to go to his bullpen. 3-0 Milwaukee. Christian Yelich at the plates, and now Jace Fry will be on the mound for Chicago.
Yeah, Fry's been pretty good against lefties this year. Only 1 hit in 21 at bats with 11 punch outs. You see his numbers. Had a long scoreless streak snapped his last time out, gave up a run.
Those numbers the exact opposite of what he put up in limited opportunities last year after being called up from Double-A. He appeared in 11 games. His ERA was more than 10. He has turned that around. White Sox bullpen was very good last night. Nothing but zeros hanging up against the Brewers hitters. Three and one now to Yelich.
This is where the construction of Craig Counsell's batting order makes it difficult, you know, for the opposition to match up. They go right, left, right, all the way pretty much down the batting order until you get to the bottom.
A walk to Yelich. He drew 3 of them last night. His first walk draw, but he's been on base twice here this afternoon. Here comes Aguilar. Let's check out his day at the plate. Presented by Wendy's. A first inning walk, a 4th inning single to left, and in the 6th they doubled to left center. 2 of those 3 innings, after 2 hits, he led off the 4th and the 6th. They couldn't bring him around.
Yeah, 6 straight innings now. The Brewers have been able to get their leadoff hitter aboard. In 3 of those innings, they're home runs. Leadoff homers, I should say. No, check that. VR's home run came with 1 out. So 5 of 6.
Yeah, Kratz leading off the 3rd, and Kane here in the 8th. Aguilar with a fly ball right center field, and there's another one. 2-run shot for Jesus Aguilar, and it's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Have a day, Aguilar. Wow, huh? Jesus. 3 hits, a walk. And taking that one out to the opposite field, right center. Check it out. Fry having a tough time today. Fastball out away from him, and Aguilar goes right with it. Nice easy swing. And hits it a ton out of here. 3 runs here for the Brewers in the 8th.
3 of the last 6 hitters have gone deep. So the first one served up by Fry this year, and number 10 on the season for Aguilar. Yeah. Strike a pose.
Right, that guy's something else, isn't he?
He really is. Last year in spring training, hit his way onto the roster. Hit his team into some very big wins last year, and he's doing more of the same this year.
You know, a lot of times you have a guy that you know, been coming off the bench, pinch hitter, that has some success, and all of a sudden you throw him in the lineup for an extended period of time. They kind of lose that edge, and they call that getting overexposed a bit. But that's the last thing you can say about Aguilar. He continues to get better the more he plays.
He has just been outstanding. A ground ball over to 3rd, and that is out number 1 as Sanchez puts it away. First out of the inning. Oh, Jesus Aguilar, as you said, Rock, have yourself a day, and check out these numbers. Better than 108 miles per hour on that 413-foot home run.
And a nice easy swing.
They are flexing their muscles. Cooper, pitching coach. Get Fry up to date on Ryan Braun.
They got Ryan Braun, then G-Man Choi. Right-hander getting loose in the pen.
And Shaw ground ball. 3 of the last 7 hitters have gone deep. 4 have left the yard here today. That matches a season high for the Brewers that they actually had that total a couple of weeks ago against the Diamondbacks, May 16th.
Now, if you're Craig Counsell, do you now sit Josh Hader? You have a 5-0 lead. Or do you send him back out there?
It's a good question. They have a little activity in the bullpen right now. I believe that's Taylor Williams getting loose as Braun pops one up. And Sanchez will squeeze that for out number 2. Hader with His usual good work, an inning and a third, 3 strikeouts, a walk. Here to put the ball in play was Tim Anderson, who lined it softly to second.
And he looks like a guy that's done. And that might be the case. You got the 5-0 lead, and maybe just instead of giving Hader 2 days off, maybe you could bring him back tomorrow. Brewers have an off day on Monday, if need be. And we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. We mentioned they can go with 4-man rotation, but the bullpen, it's a big factor these off days.
You want to keep those innings down for Hader.
Yep.
That's the one area, one of the many areas that Craig Counsell, Derek Johnson have been so good at, is to manage the bullpen usage, not overusing any one guy.
That's the beauty of what they've been able to do so far. We've talked about the relievers who can work multiple innings, but been able to keep that usage in check reasonably well as Choi goes down swinging. But another inning with the big fly for Craig Counsell's Milwaukee Brewers. Lorenzo Cain greeted James Shields with this shot to open the 8th, and a 2-run blast from Jesus Aguilar. Middle of the 8th, it's 5-0 Brewers leading the White Sox. All right, Daria, thank you very much. 80s day here at the ballpark, and the Brewers with a 5-run lead. Trace Thompson leading off for Chicago, and Taylor Williams now on the mound for Milwaukee.
Yeah, 20th appearance for Taylor, 270 earned run average, and you got to figure that Craig Counsell might be thinking, Williams just finish this one off. If not, then you got Jeffress Knable available if he gets in trouble.
At 0-2 to Thompson. It's Thompson, Moncada, and Sanchez in the 8th for the White Sox.
Yeah, Williams last pitched on Tuesday, so it's been a while for Taylor. Tuesday against the Cardinals, tossed a perfect 9th inning.
Good work from Hader, an inning and a third, striking out 3.
Yeah,
Kratz thought he had it. So did Williams.
yeah, everybody.
Yep.
I think Thompson thought he was out. Somebody forgot to tell Greg Gibson that that was a strike.
Oh, man.
All right, come on. Day's not over quite yet.
2-2 pitch. There you go. Slider takes care of business, and that's out number 1.
That's just a nasty pitch. And he throws hard, gets ahead with 2 strikes, and then gets him to chase that one. And finally does get his strikeout.
Back to the top of the order. Yohan Moncada led off the 6th with a single to center, stole a base, but was left stranded at 3rd.
It's all about throwing strikes with this kid. And when he's able to throw strikes, get ahead in the count, he's nasty.
13 Ks per 9 for Williams coming into this appearance. His 2 seasons lost as he was coming up through the system. Tommy John surgery. Five appearances last year and a good dose of it here in 2018. Taylor Williams.
He's been able to get the job done just about every time Craig Counsell's called on him. Most importantly, in situations like this, Brewers with a decent lead, keep the big boys in the bullpen, keep them down, don't make them get up and throw.
Comebacker. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th. Staying with it after knocking it down. All men collected. Just checking us out. Brewers and White Sox wearing their 1983 uniforms. 80s day here. They played a Bon Jovi song, one of his best ever, Living on a Prayer. Our director today, Phil Malika, emphatically exclaiming that is the greatest song of all time.
Are you in agreement?
That's a hot take.
It's a good one.
That's a hot take.
All time though.
Yeah.
Wow. That's out on the limb.
The New Jersey born Phil Malika. Game also produced by Dan Keener. I have not heard his opinion of that. That's I would put it among the best.
Yeah,
To say the very best of all time.
Well, I'm a Jersey guy. There's
Yeah.
got to be a Springsteen song sprinkled in there.
You think?
I mean, if you're just sticking to New Jersey.
Sanchez to left field. Braun will put it away. And the musical debate will continue. Good work from Williams. Sets him down in order. 5-0 Brewers after 8. Becca and their children Eli and Emmy. Their niece also here today, Sophia. The Keener family is well represented here at the ballpark.
Family day today.
Yes,
there you
sir.
Go. Way to go, Dan.
Need to have a talk with your niece, though. We need to get her some Brewers attire. Nice work, Eli. You are properly attired. Aaron Bummer now on the mound for Chicago.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of work so far this year. 26 appearances, but only 18 in the third inning. So he comes in for a left-hander or two normally. A 344 earned run average, has not allowed a home run.
Home run ball, a big factor today for the Brewers. They've gone deep 4 times, including VR. Day for Johnny. Couple of hits, singled in the 5th.
Saved the run in the bottom of the 6th inning and then hit a home run in the top of the 7th.
But if you remember, James Shields got the first out of the inning, and G-Man Choi, Rick Renteria came out to the mound. It was a 1-0 game at the time. Thought there would be a pitching change. There was not. And then VR promptly took Shields into the seats in right field. And then Kane led off the 8th inning by going deep. And that ended the day for the White Sox starter. Jesus Aguilar, a 2-run homer in the last inning. 2-2 now to VR. A lot about the home run work today, but again, how about the pitching?
Yeah.
What a good outing for Chacin.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, Chacin had a difficult time settling in his first few starts, not able to pitch too deep into games. But since that time, Brewers are looking to go 10-3 in his starts.
That's impressive. High chopper. This is a tough play. Moncada can't make it. VR is on. His 3rd hit of the afternoon. This of the infield variety.
I think even if Moncada has it in the hand, he's not going to be able to get the out. And he's charging hard toward the mound. This is do or die right here. Just not able to handle it. Base hit for Jonathan VR.
Hit number 10 for the Brewers today. Here's Eric Kratz. He has 2 of them. His home run in the 3rd opened up the scoring today. Let's take you back to that 3rd inning off James Shields. His 2nd of the week as a Milwaukee Brewer. His first in his debut last Saturday afternoon against the Mets. It was a 2-hit day as well for Kratz.
Nice luxury to have to be able to call on a guy that has that much experience in the major leagues to be your backup catcher. He knows what's going on. He's one of those guys that he's pretty much seen everything he could see in the big leagues. He's been around a long time. Knows how to catch and throw, call a game, and he's got some pop in that bat. There's no replacing experience. There really isn't when you get to get right down to it behind home plate.
The ball, 2 strikes. Baez needs to block that offering. I was interested in a comment he had in a chat with Sophia Minard last week. He was saying, I would think, Rock, you can really relate to this as a catcher. It's not the pitchers knowing him. It's he has to get to know the pitchers. What are they comfortable with? What do they like to do out of the mound? And again, that veteran presence you alluded to. He knows how it works. Settling in very nicely.
Yeah, it's all about those meetings before the game starts.
In the hole, nice play, Anderson for 1, and that is a well-turned double play. Yes, the catcher is running, but Anderson starts it. flagging down that ground ball in the hole. 6-4-3 on the double play.
Hey, he's got good skills. I mean, he can make some errors. He's got 10 on the year. But these are the kind of plays, and right here, the quickness, the able to turn around and make a good throw to first and get Kratz on a double play ball.
It's the third double play turned by the White Sox here today. 2 on ground balls. In the 6th inning, a liner turned into a double play. As Aguilar was called off third. Orlando Arcia, ground ball, a pop up, and a fly to center. Three-run 8th. Pop this one open on this Saturday afternoon as the clouds have cleared away. A lot going on here in the city, as always. Big Taylor Swift concert, 2-night show.
Are you going tonight?
I am not. Are you?
No.
You gonna miss that?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
No.
Soldier Field, man, big crowds. I do believe some members of the traveling group will be in attendance. Of our group will be in attendance.
You know, for me, one day in a packed stadium's enough.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we're,
you know what I mean,
giving away our age here, aren't we?
Although it'll be a good concert.
It'll be a great concert. Big crowds at Soldier Field.
Well, Kenny Chesney is going to be in concert when we go to Philly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I have never seen him live.
Yeah. Go talk to Uke. I think he might be able to hook you up.
He knows everybody, doesn't he? He really does.
He does. He does.
Great show at Miller Park recently. Good to see Uke here this weekend.
Yeah, good to have him on the road.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, talking to Uke on the bus and before the game. I miss having him on the road.
Yeah, I was just laughing from the hotel to the ballpark. Sanchez knocks it down, and side retired. We'll do it for the Brewers here in the 9th inning. Brewers looking to finish this one off. They lead 5-0 in Chicago. With the home run bats here this afternoon. 3 solo shots and a 2-run blast from Jesus Aguilar. 5-0. The Milwaukee lead. Last chance now for the White Sox. See if Taylor Williams can finish this off. All quiet in the Milwaukee bullpen. Jose Abreu will lead things off. Couple of strikeouts and then a very nice play by Jonathan Villar with Moncada in scoring position. Backhand stop behind the bag at second. Villar was able to save a run and retire Abreu. Williams got through the 8th inning in order. Low by fastball.
Yeah, fastball up 95. You can hit 97.
Abreu, Jose Rondon, and Tim Anderson here in the 9th for the White Sox. Here's the 1-2. White Sox with just 3 hits. They came off Chacin, who went 5 2/3 in line for the win. It would be his 4th of the season in 5 decisions. In the air to center, and that's going to drop in front of Kane. Leadoff single here in the 9th. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap. We wrap up this series here at Guaranteed Rate Field tomorrow. Brent Suter on the mound. Dylan Covey will go for the White Sox. We'll get it started with Brewers Live tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
He picked up an 8-3 win his last time out against the Cardinals. Suter 5 innings, 3 runs.
Yeah, the bat helped. Or his bat helping the cause again.
Yeah, again.
Had a couple of times, including a home run a few weeks ago against Corey Kluber. By the way, the Brewers will see the same pitching combo next week in Cleveland. Looking ahead of the probables, Corey Kluber on Tuesday, Carlos Carrasco on Wednesday. Those are the 2 starters they saw at Miller Park.
Boy, Carrasco was something else in that start against Milwaukee.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was yeah, amazing.
Weak game. Kluber was pretty good too, but the Brewers were able to do just enough. You remember Suter in that game had to come in the 1st inning. Miley had to leave with the oblique injury. He was the starter as Rondon gets buzzed. 2 fastball up and in.
Well, didn't want him leaning out over the plate for that slider. A little chin music.
There you go. Now let's see that slider low and away. See if he goes to that. Nope.
Chin music was rather popular back in the 80s.
Yes, it was. Buzz in the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
When I see that from Williams, I go back to spring training. Did that with Charlie Blackmon and then ended up striking him out. The ball, 2 strikes to Rondon. And that will drop a fair ball down the left field line. Abreu will stop at 3rd. Rondon a double. And the White Sox have something going here in the 9th inning.
And nothing hit all that hard. You know, a couple of sliders that, you know, the White Sox were able to get off the end of the bat. One into center, one right down the left field line. They left the breaking pitch up just enough for Rondon to one-hand it down the line and left. Derek Johnson on his way out, you know, to give the bullpen an opportunity to get loose.
I thought I saw Rondon. Yeah, we did. I was thinking Rondon was trying to get a time. Was not granted, and I would imagine he's all right with that. So, as Rockies, you just mentioned, buying a little time as the bullpen stirs.
Nothing hit all that hard. Corey Knebel getting loose. One more base runner becomes a save situation.
Got through the eighth, did Williams, getting Trace Thompson on a strikeout. A ground ball from Moncada and a fly ball from Sanchez here in the ninth. Abreu a single to center and Rondon a double to left. Here's Tim Anderson. Look at those hits coming with 2 strikes, by the way. Kratz with the block.
Well, you figure if Anderson reaches, you're going to see a pitching change. It'll be a save situation. That is, unless Corey's not ready to go. He just started to throw.
Anderson hitless in 3 trips. Lined out softly to second in the 7th inning. That was against Josh Hader. He's the only White Sox player to get the ball in play in an inning and a third. Hader struck out 3. He's trying to get that bounce back win and avoid consecutive losses. They've been very, very good in that category for a while now. Slider has Anderson waving and missing.
Yeah, throwing a lot of sliders in this inning. Both of the hits coming on the slider.
Four-year-old Alabama born Tim Anderson. Ninth inning trouble here for Taylor Williams. You said it a while ago, nothing like experience, especially from your catcher.
Yeah, calming everything down out there. You know things are going to start, moving a little bit quickly for Williams. That is in trouble. A calming voice out there.
At the same time, that buys a little more time for Knebel. 2-1 the count. The high fastball.
Well, both the base hits that he's given up have come on 2-strike sliders. Let's see what he does here with 2 strikes.
Abreu at third, Rondon the runner at second. There's the 2-2. With the gas. Williams again loading up with a 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Arcia out number 1.
Yeah, good job right there by Williams to be able to come back and get his man. He went with a fastball. Why not? I mean, both of the hits have come on the slider. Anderson out in front of it. Easy out to short.
One out with runners at second and third as Williams will face Omar Narvaez. Singled in the second inning. Fly ball to the wall in the fourth, and he walked in the seventh. And another pop-up. This time Travis Shaw takes charge. 2 men out. And the Horseman's still liking it. Oh, just got popped. All day long. We just can't help ourselves. 2 away here in the 9th inning. Runners at second and third. With Daniel Polka now on the pinch hit for Adam Engel. 6 seasons in the minors. He's out of Georgia Tech, a 3rd-round draft pick 5 years ago. Some good power numbers in the minor leagues. Debut season in the big leagues.
Yeah, started as a designated hitter last night, hitting 2 walks.
Abreu at third, Jose Rondon at second. Williams has gotten back-to-back pop-ups after those 2 reached to begin this inning. There you go again, the elevated fastball from Williams.
Yeah, I think that the message from Eric Kratz was, hey kid, you got a really good fastball. Let's start using it here.
Don't think. Let it rip.
Don't try and trick him.
Here's the 0-1. Yeah, he just rearing back and letting it fly. Strike away is Taylor Williams. Preserving this win. Giving the Brewers a shutout victory. Five and 2/3 from Chacin, an inning and a third from Hader. Williams trying to work the final 2. Two-strike pitch. Abel's plenty ready by now, but Williams would like to handle this himself and wrap it up. The 0-2. Game over. Taylor Williams, after a single from Abreu, a double from Rondon, 2 pop-ups, and a slider to strike out Polka to end the game, and the Brewers get the shutout. Impressive work again.
Yeah, how about Yoeli Chacin? I mean, outstanding work once again. He is starting to put together a nice season. And the Brewers bullpen coming up big once again. Brewers just enough offense to 4 home runs today. Nice win.
Including Lorenzo Cain, who went deep against James Shields. Brewers get the shutout, 5-0 your final. Let's send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio and Dario Melendez in Brewers Live.